Hello, welcome to Jazz Emporium. So happy birthday, Scorpio. My favorite season. It's spooky season. Yay! So again, if you like what you see, please do like, comment, and subscribe. We're up to 580 subscribers, and I'm very happy and grateful for everybody that has joined Jazz's Emporium and for tarot readings and stuff. So this video is about Scorpio and Scorpio predictions, Scorpio forecast for what's happening in Scorpio season. And, you know, I know a lot of amazing Scorpio people in my life and people with Scorpio risings and stuff like that. And they're just amazing people. And I wanted to make a video to commemorate that for Scorpio. So I shall see you in the next clip of this video to do with Scorpio Symbology. And I shall see you there. Bye for now. So hello. So what is the Scorpio symbology? So Scorpio is one of the first signs that actually has a dual planet that is in its ruling possession. So in ancient times before Pluto was discovered, Scorpio ruled the sign of Mars, just like Aries. And there is a correlation between the two because you're like, well, Aries is about, you know, bruteness. It's about the god of war. It's, you know, it's Marsian. It's masculine. It's, you know, the first sign of the Zodiac. Well, Scorpio is a feminine sign. So the way I see Scorpio in that aspect would be like Minerva or Athena in the Greek culture and Minerva in Roman. Because Scorpios are more strategic and calculated when they express their passion or anger. That's why I would associate with how that Marsian energy will come out when it's dealing with the Mars. Now, why was Pluto gifted to Scorpio is because Scorpio rules transformation. In the next segment of what does Scorpio rule, we'll get into that. So the flowers for Scorpio are geraniums, peonies, anything mysterious or red, just like Aries, because it does share that fire sign, and anything with thorns or brambles and cactuses. Because of that strong Marsian energy and Pluto energy are flowers that tend to transform. Also, Rose of Jericho is actually symbolic to Scorpio because Scorpio rules resurrection, and we will also get into that video or in the next segment, that topic of why the Rose of Jericho would be symbology to Scorpio. So Scorpio is a very interesting sign because it has three phases of the Scorpion. So the first symbology of Scorpion is, of course, or Scorpio is the Scorpion. So Scorpion is a creature that resides in the desert. You know, it looks almost like bug-like, but it has a stinger. Scorpions don't like to be cornered because they don't sting you unless you absolutely corner them or aggravate them or peeve them off. And it drains them to sting. Now, the other aspect of Scorpio is ironically the eagle. The eagle, like in the world card, as seen here, the world card on there is all the fixed signs, and you're probably like, well, why didn't they just put a scorpion? Why the eagle? So the eagle is about transformation, and it's about the higher perspective. Just like the Scorpio, when it first starts out and its lower vibration is on the ground, you know, and it scuttles, and you know, it's both healing. Scorpio stinger can be in some cultures used for healing, you know, like cures like. But it also can poison somebody. So it's been known for both the in some cultures that the scorpion sting can be healing for some and poisonous for some, you know, in medical literature. But I wouldn't be suggesting to play around and screwing around with that and finding out. And the third and the last symbol of the higher perspective, which would be the eagle and then the scorpion, would be the phoenix. Because the phoenix deals with the transformation and the cycles. And we will get into later why that's significant. But in this case, the last vibration or the highest vibration of Scorpio would be the phoenix, which is, again, you're probably like, but Jess, it's a mythical creature. It's not a real creature. But there's a symbology and theme of resurrection, you know, rebirth, resurrection. And there's a reason for that. So Scorpion's numbers are, it rules the house 8 or the number 8 and number 9, because, again, Marsian energy, 9 completion. The flowers, like I said, are geraniums, but the stones of Scorpio are opals, and that deals with the spirit world. Obsidian, because that fire volcanicness of the lava rock, because it's explosive, but there's also something very transformative, and it's quick to transformate from lava to stone. Let's see what other ones. Topaz. Some aspects of Scorpio, November Scorpios, topaz, especially blue topaz or anything with like the sherry topaz or the citron. So those gemstones rule Scorpio. Anything also like garnets, something passionate, fiery red. And also, yes, just like Aries, hematite, anything reflective. And just like, again, hematite, obsidian has reflective qualities and is known as the void, that you can see into the void. So, like I said, Scorpio rules the 8th house, and it comes right after Libra. So there is an aspect of why that is. Remember, every sign that goes in and out of each other learns different lessons. So we will get into that, of what else Scorpio rules. The colors for Scorpio are deep red, blacks, anything passionate, sometimes deep purples, but mostly blacks and reds, because of the blood, right? Because again, it shares an aspect of Aries. So there's that aspect with Scorpio. And again, you guys hold the favorite holiday of my season is Halloween. You guys are so lucky. Any Scorpio, you guys are so lucky being born in this time period. I am so envious of you that you are born in this time period. Ironically, I wished it so badly, probably in my chart, that I am a Scorpio moon. So I did get a little piece of Scorpio in there, you know. Well, anyway, so this is the symbology of Scorpio. And let's get into what Scorpio rules. And I shall see you in the next segment coming up. Okay, so what the heck does Scorpio rule? So we got down pat in the symbology that they rule Pluto and Mars. But Scorpio rules the 8th house. Now, you're probably just like, what the heck? So we go from Virgo, who rules the 6th house, which is known as the house of malicious stuff, you know, like sicknesses and health and stuff like that, and balance. We go through Libra, that rules relationships, interpersonals, friendships, and stuff like that. And now we get into Scorpio. So what is it that the next lesson is? So we have Libra, that's very balanced, very diplomatic and all that stuff, and, you know, into relationships and beautification. So why is Scorpio so stark contrast to Libra in this dark? So let's look at the symbology of the 8th house. The 8th house is karma in some retrospects, but not as bad as Capricorn or Libra. But 8, there's a thing. 8's driven up like this. And that's why I'm saying this year is a very intense year. What goes around comes around. As so is above, as so is below. So what does that mean? So in Scorpio reference, what does that mean is the power of transformation, the power of resurrection, the power of birth and death. There's a many contrast of what Scorpio rules. And it's a very fascinating sign, because everything's with contrast with Scorpio. Life and death. They're one of the same thing. You're birthed into life, you are birthed back into the ground. So there's almost like a contrasting nature with what it rules. It rules light and dark, you know, because you have to have the light to have the dark. Life and death, birth, reincarnation, inheritance. Inheritance, it also rules jealousy, vengefulness. It rules, you know, and also too, I forgot to mention in the first video, Scorpio rules the genitalia, for its body part that each astrology sign rules, and it rules the rear end, the butt. Yes, I know you guys are probably like, what the heck? Because again, if I have to be graphic, and people are like, well, what the heck? The Scorpio rules the reproductive qualities, because it's about the thing of rebirth and joy and happiness. We birth out new life every day, and then we put people in the ground every day. But why also, and then here's another dirty part. You know, our private parts, just like Ron Williams said, and he was a Scorpio rising, ironically. There we go. He is a Cancer, but he was a Scorpio rising. We have our pleasure centers near a waste dump plant. Really, really, really gross if you really think about it, but there's a reason for that. You know, Scorpios are good at let go of anything that's toxic or wasteful, to expel it, just as much as Scorpios are good to absorb things that are toxic too. Henceforth, the stinger. That's probably why the Scorpio, as they say, a tail end of the sting. You really don't want to aggravate or piss off a Scorpio because they can be very vengeful. They are very resourceful, determined. If they really want something or somebody, they are really, really, really determined, whether it's a goal or a person or whatever is suiting their fancy at that moment. Yes, Scorpios are very relentless because, again, and it does roll obsession with some Scorpios, and Scorpios or people with heavily Scorpio placements have to be very careful that they don't go megalomaniac when they want something. And yes, Capricorn has this feature too, and that's why Capricorns and Scorpios get along very well, because they're very similar minded that way. Whereas Jupiter's like more and more and more with Sagittarius, more reckless. Capricorns and Scorpios have that same calculation. They're very calculated by nature, but it's not a bad thing. It depends on what the intent. Ambitious too. And Scorpios are very determined, resourceful, and ambitious. When they really want something, and if they have their goals set on something, they're relentless to pursue it and get it, because to them, and it's not even just about winning, to them, they're very passionate people. I have a Scorpio moon placement, or anybody with a Scorpio placement, how you exuberate your feelings. Some of them may not show anything on the surface, but they feel everything very deep. Despite of what you think, Scorpio people or Scorpios tend to feel everything very, very deep. Because it's the second water sign. So you have Cancer that is like skimming the surface on a lake, but you have to be careful of sand dunes or sandbars when you're stepping in the lake. Scorpio has been often described as murky, like the swamp, or all the creatures that are very terrifying and scary, like in the aspects of the ocean where it's dark. There is a secretism and hiddenness about Scorpio. And the reason why Scorpios do this, and it's not that they're being assholes about it or pricks, they're doing this because they're protecting their feelings. And the Scorpio's worst fear, and this comes up a lot with a lot of Scorpio placements and Scorpio themes, is the fear of betrayal. The worst thing you can do to a Scorpio is betray a Scorpio. They don't like that. They are very loyal people. When they love you, or when they are interested in you, or when they see you as their buddy or their friend or somebody very close to you, they are very locked in and they're very close to the people when they really love you. Now, if you piss off a Scorpio, they will hate you just as equally as bad. And yes, Scorpios have to watch for black and white thinking, because either it's two extremes. Because Scorpios are very extreme like that. They either really love you or they really hate you. Or it's not that there's no in between, but they don't want to be around people that make them feel inferior, small, or they don't want to feel like, they don't want to be around people that could possibly hurt them, betray them, or just hurt them, because they fear that. They don't like that. So they keep their circle very small, Scorpios. They're very selective on who they choose to basically want to be around with. And it's not even antisocial. They just have that fear. There is that fear within the 8th house. Now, to speak about inheritance. So why does Scorpio rule inheritance? Well, let's look at the other opposite sign, which is Taurus. So Taurus is the opposite sign of Scorpio. So Taurus is about materialism. It's about, the mantra for Taurus is I have, whereas Scorpio is I transform and create. So in that aspect of Taurus, where Taurus cultivates, Scorpios oftentimes will either get an inheritance or money in a very inconspicuous way, or for criminals, sneaky ways. Scorpios, please, let's not commit any felonies, or again, no money through inheritance through offing somebody. There's something called penalties, laws, and jail. But Scorpios, they have that mysterious sort of like luck in their hands that way. So, and again, cultivation of inheritance, because again, there's something very mysterious about the Scorpio house. And again, it deals with heavy transformation. So wherever you have Scorpio in your placements, whether it be sun sign, moon sign, that area of the house, you have to deal with some form of transformation. So again, mine is in a moon placement, which means, and I have it in a Lilith, and I also have Scorpio in my Pluto. So I will go through a big transformation in my Pluto placement, or what will make me go nuclear, and I can get very scorpionic, or emotional, how I emotionally deal with things, would be the way I would, for example, my chart. I'm just giving per example. I'm not trying to make it all about me, but I'm just giving example per placements of Scorpio. So who's born under this beautiful sign? Because, and again, shout out, I have a friend, that's a Scorpio. He's actually, I'm filming this right on his birthday. Steph, shout out to my friend Steph, wonderful person. He's born on he's born on the first day of Scorpio, and he shares the same birthday with Ryan Reynolds. Deadpool. You Scorpios are very intense people. Katy Perry's also a Scorpio. So again, like I said, I'll list a bunch of Scorpios that are here, and I can't remember everybody, and I know it really sucks, but like I said, a lot of people are very passionate, beautiful people that are under the sign Scorpio. Like I said, if you really want a loyal friend that can keep a secret, get a Scorpio. If you want somebody that will be your ride or die, get a Scorpio. If you want somebody to, get rid of a problem, get a Scorpio. Scorpios are also very good problem solvers. As much as people don't want to give them credit for that, they are. But there's a very calculating way they do it. And again, Scorpios are very organized and methodical that way because, they, and this is a sick thing that Scorpio does, and people be careful of this. Scorpios study people. They're very observant. And they know your strengths, but they also know your weaknesses, and they know how to observe. They pay attention to details, but they also pay attention to the bigger picture. And that mean emotional damage. Yeah, that would be Scorpio. So Scorpios, be careful because Scorpios can be very blunt when they speak, just as much as a Sagittarius. Remember, Scorpio comes before Sagittarius. And where do you think Sagittarius gets its bluntness from is Scorpio. So Scorpios will be very brutal. Like Chef Ramsay's, another Scorpio. My goodness, and he's a Virgo moon. So right there, and a Gemini rising. So again, that guy is daddy though. I mean, that guy takes charge. See, I'm impressed. See, that man takes charge. Chef Ramsay is total daddy. Anyway, so again, like I said, Scorpios are very particular on how they do things, and I really love Scorpios. I have a soft spot for Scorpios and Pisces, probably because I have a lot of water. My first 3 placements are water signs, or, and plus I'm Capricorn stellium. So I do have a soft spot for Scorpios and water signs and stuff. So that's the symbology for Scorpio, and I will get right into the channeling in the next segment to see what's coming up in Scorpio season, and see you there. Hello, so I got my clear quartz, and we shall channel the messages that are coming in for Scorpio season. So, okay, so Spirit's bringing to my attention about the death and rebirth thing. So, old paths have to die for new ones to form. So, this Scorpio season, there's a lot of mysterious qualities that are coming into what needs to die off and what needs to be rebirthed. The veil is thinning in this season. Another reason why I love Scorpio season, before I really start to deep dive and channel here, the veil thins between the living and the dead during Scorpio season. And yes, for those who believe in the myth, Halloween is the peak of when this happens, up until All Souls Day, which is about the 1st or 2nd of November, which again resides on Scorpio. So what is this whole death and rebirth? So some people might be having a glow up within their death and rebirth. The death of one persona you perceive out into the world, and total transformation, awakenings into the new one. The Scorpio Symbology card in the tarot cards is the Death card, and, of course, because it's number 13, and Judgment card. Sounding the trumpets. Some people might be mysteriously very sneaky during the season, or Spirit is telling you to move in silence. That's another thing too. Move in silence during Scorpio season, because Scorpio, again, yes, they are known for their sneakiness, but sometimes you don't have to let everything out in the bag or out in the open. Spirit says sometimes keeping stuff inward is good too. You don't always have to be loud and proud like a Leo, or aggressive like an Aries, or flashy like a Sagittarius or Libra. Sometimes being quiet and reserved and taking a step back during Scorpio season, being reflective and or observing, is the best cause. Knowing when to move like chess pieces. that is actually is a very good skill, learning how to move in silence. It almost sounds like the high priestess almost, which I do vibe with that energy. So with death and rebirth comes to either ending of relationships that no longer serve you, ending of friendships, ending of things. And it's not that the spirit is trying to be nasty, taking certain things away from people. They want to transform a person and make them into their higher self. So sometimes you have to cut off loose dead ends. In order for people to grow, you have to grow and kind of cut loose ends off for you to grow as a person. So there is that aspect. In love life, to do with Scorpionic season, yes, there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of, sex, rebirths and stuff like that. But there's going to be also a lot of contentions. And not all. If for those who are in toxic relationships, there's going to be an obsessive quality with your partner. But those who are in toxic relationships that are becoming too much, or either that there's no effort being put in, there's no passion, things are going to die out. Things that are not built on solid foundations will crumble during Scorpio season. Now, people that have been lying to the partners, or anything that's a secret that is being kept from a partner, or things that a partner is hiding from their partner, like ill intentions. And that's not counting things like engagements or anything that's positive, like, to keep a surprise. Any little hiccups or surprises, like, infidelity, cheating, that's going to be exposed during Scorpio season. Because again, yes, and this is all about, again, keeping hidden and secrets, but things will be exposed out during that season. Because again, Scorpio comes in and reminds people it's okay to have your secrets, but if it's harming another, it will call you on your shit. It will actually expose that out. So there might be people that are being exposed that they're cheaters and that a person has to get rid of them. So Scorpio rules that Marsian aspect, the assertiveness. Is there anything that you're not getting done and been passive about? Scorpio will give you lucrative signs and intuitions about certain dealings, certain business things, certain aspects of anything hidden or secret. So, I mean, and that includes relationships, that includes finances, inheritance, and hopefully nobody passes away or anyone commits unalivings to somebody to get certain things. Just putting that out there. Now, again, if that happens, I'm sorry that you lost your loved ones, but you may be getting an inheritance of some sort. You might be getting something in a very mysterious, almost synchronistic way, because Scorpio rules synchronicities and stuff like that. So, I mean, there is that aspect. What else is coming up? So, transformation. Who are you called to be? Your authentic self. Scorpio screams authenticity. They don't like fiascades. They don't like frauds. They don't like anybody with anything. And ironically, I think the Prime Minister, I think Putin's got an aspect in Scorpio. I'm going to have to check that. I'm going to be surprised if he's got Scorpionic traits. I don't know why that come up, but somebody might be, again, secret agent or hidden. Scorpios are great detectives. They rule about detectiveness. They rule about sniffing out or sussing out a problem. So in also relationships, or also in different aspects of life, whether it be friendships or interpersonal relationship, another thing that Spirit brought to my attention, playing detective. So somebody literally could be, or someone could be wanting to go into detective or law fields. This is really prominent for you guys. Somebody literally could be solving a mystery during the season. Spooky and mysteriousness, and henceforth, I'm not saying that because it's Halloween and spooky season, but there's somebody playing detective, or you could be playing detective about a certain situation or things are going to be like, like almost like I'm hearing case solved, almost like a case. If anyone's had anybody that's been hurt or unalived, things could be coming out about that. And I'm not referencing the Liam. Oh, and Liam, what's it called? Payne from One Direction. He's a Scorpio rising. And yes, the guy is a Virgo, but he's got a Scorpio rising and Aquarius moon. So, I mean, that's kind of ominous that he came out too. And I almost forgot to mention that. But back to what I was saying, because I almost got, hazy again. Playing detective. So there is going to be stuff coming out about that. Not the Liam case, but the, if you're in a relationship, or if you're any misdeeds or any stuff to do with like people trying to swindle you or trying to be sneaky, it's going to be uncovered. You're going to suss out what it is. Like I said, in Scorpio, remember how I said in the last segment, don't ever hide anything from Scorpio. And rule number 1 with Scorpio season, don't hide anything from Scorpio in the Scorpio season, or anybody for that matter. Spirit is really drawing my attention, hitting home with that. Do not keep secrets. Don't hide anything. Be upfront and honest, because Scorpio season will bite you in the ass for it, or I should say sting you in the ass for it, because it's a scorpionic, it's the symbol. Again, because Scorpio seasons, it's not a good or wise thing to betray. Somebody could be finding out with a relationship or interpersonal betrayal. This is a big thing too. Scorpios don't like betrayal or dishonesty. So in this Scorpio season, be mindful. Don't betray anybody. Don't do anything stupid that way. Because again, it will be very unforgiving. You might be coming across people that you thought would be your true blue friends, associate, and you go to find out that someone's betraying you. And even watch for the jobs too. And when I say these certain topics, it's not just about romance. Apply it for wherever it is, whether it's a job, friendship, or any sort of interpersonal relationship or any aspect in your life. People got to watch out for betrayals this season. There's going to be stuff coming out to light about betrayals, dishonesty, things coming to exposure and light that, again, is going to shock you because nobody's going to expect it. But like I said, there's a certain shocking quality to Scorpio in that sense, because again, we're dealing with the 8th house transformation. Some icky stuff has to come out into the dark to get it to the light, so that it can be transformed and neutralized into something better. So there's that aspect. So what else is coming out? Let's see. So we have betrayal. We have, again, cheaters. Forewarn, don't F around and find out this season. Literally, don't F around, period. Don't cheat on people. I'm hearing don't cheat on people. So people could be going through a lot of infidelities this season. I'm sorry, Scorpio's spirit just said cheating, which is sad, but cheaters never prosper. There you go. They said to me, cheaters never prosper. What else is coming out? Let's see here. I'm hearing big money. So some people, I'm hearing that big step underground report. Some people, like I said, you guys are relentless with your goals. Somebody here is being relentless with their goals during Scorpio season. So this is going to be coming out too. You're going to be making some big moves, whether it's be career or love. Some people are going to be making big moves on how they progress with their career. And I'm hearing take what's yours, carpe diem, seize the day. It almost makes me think of Robin Williams' Scorpio rising when he's saying carpe diem, seize the day. That's right. Scorpio season, seize the day, whatever it is, whatever you have to do, seize the day, carpe diem. This is your season to progress forward, be determined, be ruthless and relentless, but don't step over anybody to get what you want. That will never prosper. Spirit sees that, and they will call you out on it. They will pull the judgment card on you. People are going to be divinely judged. So there's two aspects here. Spirit just brought to my attention again because I said judgment. So remember the rule of judgment card, because it's prominent in this season. Scorpio is ruling, half of you will be going through divine judgment. Half of you will be divinely blessed or have an awakening. So if you're feeling unsettled right now, it's because you're going through a deep transformation, a deep awakening. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Pluto in retrograde, I think either is ended or it will be ending. I will put the date down. The transformation, I'm not saying is complete. Some people are still going through awakenings, and some people will be divinely judged. So it depends on what end of the scale you're at, because again, just like Capricorn season, just like anything with the year 8, because we're in karma. It's the year of karma, right? Remember, 2024, the year of the 8. It's going to be amplified this season in Scorpio season. Like I said, anything hidden is going to come out because we're in a double 8. So we're in Scorpio season, 8th house, or 8 season, because it rules 8. And then you have, on top of that, year 8. So this is not a good time to keep secrets, to mess around, find out, hurt anybody, etc. Because 8 is a number of karma. So again, transformation, some people will be transforming into an awakening. People might be going through the symptoms of awakening, which is again like hell on earth, and you might be going crazy, going, what's wrong with me? Why do I not feel like myself? Because you're going through a deep transformational. So half of you will be going through an awakening, and the other half that have not awakened is going to be divinely judged. Now, what does it mean to be divinely judged? So if people have been really nasty or cruel and have not been upholding to, karma, as in good thoughts, good words, good deeds, or the rule 3, whatever you do comes back to you. Spirit's going to judge you for that and point the finger at you, and will put you through the little hell that you put somebody else through, or maybe something worse, maybe something you value will be taken from you. And it's very ruthless like that. So, I mean, again, because Spirit did show me the symbology of the Judgment card. So like I said, half and half. It's going to go 50-50. Now, wherever you on that scale, hopefully you can determine that yourselves. If you're on the divine judgment, you have to write out your karma. There is no other way to it. So the only way you get rid of karma is if you learn a lesson from it and ride through it. You know, you're not just going to be there and just like, oh yeah, I've learned my lesson, and then you fake it. Spirit can see through that. So no tricks. No tricks this season, people. No bloody tricks this season. Spirit, any more messages for Scorpio season? Sorry, it takes me a minute to channel. Any more things? Delve into the mysteries. There we go. Spirit says, if you're seeking it, you will find it. So if you're looking for closure for something, you have to give yourself closure. Spirit says, go inward, go deep. Now, for people who study occult, Scorpio also rules the occult. This is a good time to hone your skills of witchcraft, to learn things for witchcraft. This is a good time for people that do spiritual practices and, you know, the dark and the hidden. And again, I know some people study necromancy. That's not my forte, because I don't really, even though I'm a medium and I like speaking to the dead, I don't like going in cemeteries. I don't like going in morgues. And that's kind of weird. People are like, well, you're a medium. You should like that. No, I don't. The energy goes to my stomach and it just grabs and picks me everywhere. It's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. I oftentimes have to call my angels and ancestors to protect me because they tend to latch on, and it's not a nice feeling. So Spirit is drawing my attention to that theme. People might need to psychically protect themselves during the season, or really hunker down on your protection if you do study that stuff, because again, the veil is very thin right now. So people that are mediums, psychics, healers, light workers, or people that just have very heightened psychic gifts might need to hunker down, divinely protect themselves, or up their protection, because you guys are at your sensitive peak. You're at your peak. And especially during when the veil is at its thinnest, you are at your peak. So gemstones like clear quartz might be a little too intense for you. I can handle it, but some people may not. You know, if you tend to sleep with that in your room, you might want to remove it this season, because again, the veil, it's at its thinnest. You might have things go bump in the night that you don't want to, and your poor little cat's like, help me, or your animals or dogs, because they're very sensitive too. So, you know, if you hear something go bump in the night and Lassie or, you know, Miss Little Mittens, Murder Mittens is all like scared and freaked out and doing the helicopters, you know to remove your gems, like, you know, certain things like that amplify energy, like clear quartz or mirrors. That's another thing too. Please, for the love of God, people, don't put mirrors in your bedroom, or if you do, cover them, and don't put two mirrors facing each other, because it's a portal. Portals are very, and Spirit's drawing me to this too, saying, protect your security, but do know your magic to the point where you know not to let anything that shouldn't be let in. People like to cast some weird crap this season, and especially with mirrors and portals, please be mindful. Don't stick your nose down at magic. Please, if you do study that stuff, or if you're into that stuff, or if you're very sensitive to this stuff, protect yourself. Know what you're doing. Know thyself, know thy craft, and don't do anything stupid. Not this season. Because everything is very heightened and psychically sensitive this season. Don't do it. You know, if you're interested, don't do it. Don't. I know that person hurt you. I know that person's like a dumbass and you want to get back at them, but please don't mess around this season, and don't summon anything that you can't handle. No demonic possessions. Please do not resurrect little murder mittens, your cat, from the grave. We don't want a pet cemetery moment. We don't want a Cujo moment. Please, people, I know you miss your pets. I know you miss your certain loved ones and stuff, and especially people that deal with necromancy. Please don't summon anything messed up. It takes a lot to clean that crap up. And again, for those who don't study magic, or if you're very sensitive still to vibrations, or if you're, you know, developing your psychic gifts, because that's another thing too. Spirit is also drawing me to the tension that people could be having their psychic gifts more heightened. So if you're finding yourself being drawn to that, or being more spiritual, or if your gifts are being more heightened, you might want to learn some more protection. You might want to protect yourself, protect your house, protect your family, protect your home. You know, because again, veil's at the thinnest. Just putting that out there for people that are into that stuff. And for those that aren't, okay, it's just still always have your security, you know, make sure you're protecting yourself at your home. Especially I'm hearing beanies this season. So for those who have cars or any houses, watch out for beanies and watch out for anything that's a bit off-putting. Have your guard up this season, especially at nighttime. As spirits really draw me to the attention at nighttime or things, because there's going to be a lot more aggression. A lot of people are going to do a lot of sneaky things. So please have your guard up. Know your wits about you. Anything else, Spirit? Final messages, because I know this is getting pretty long and people are probably like, Jess, this is too long. Oh, sorry. I got a lot of messages here. Anything else? Spirit, let's see. Oh, and Spirit's also drawing me for those who work with their ancestors. And yes, they're saying do this every year or do this all the time, though. Now would be a good time to honor and worship your ancestors. And I'm not saying that because we're just in Halloween. People might be having Hispanic. I'm seeing like the Hispanic ones, the Day of the Dead, Cinco de Mayo. Spirit's just reminding people, if you do work with your ancestors, you don't just have to work with them on Halloween. You can work with them all over the week. Little heads up, I'm going to be doing an ancestor oil video and stuff like that. But anything else, Spirit? Let's see here. What else? I'm trying to think what else. Anything coming through, Spirit? Spirit's just saying with this month, like I said, a lot of secrets are going to be uncovered. Things that aren't supposed to be there are going to fall away. There's going to be a lot of shocking things that are going to be coming to light, whether it be through politics. We're going to be having, I think in America, they're going to do their elections and stuff like that. Results that people are going to think that are going to happen. Like if people are predicting, yeah, this is going to happen. No, think again. It's going to be things that we're not predicting. It's not going to be going the way people want it to, I'm hearing. That's going to be another thing. You know, Spirit's going to throw a curveball this season because, again, everything is so heightened in the vibrations and sensitive. So things that the way people think is going to go is not really how it's going to go. So it's going to throw people for a loop. And this is testing people's duration, and I'm hearing spiritual determination, like manifestations. Also, Scorpio season's a really powerful month to manifest stuff because that 8, what you bring in is what you put out, and what you put out is what you put in. So be mindful too what you're manifesting or wishing upon others this season too, because everything is so sensitive and highly vibrated. If you're willing to bring something into existence for it to happen, lots of meditation. Meditate a lot this month, and that's how you bring in your manifestations. Keep your eye on the prize and focus on the goal. That's what's coming in. So that's all I got for Scorpio season, and I'm so glad that you come and watch this video. Thank you so much. If you do like what you see, please do like, comment, subscribe, and please book a reading. Scorpio season's an awesome time to get readings, people. And I shall see you the next time in Sagittarius season. Bye for now. Peace out.